Check, check. Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, everybody. I think I'm talking to people, I think I'm live. Yep, we're live, Rosie. I don't even know who's here yet. Okay, here we go. We got Ryan, we got Jeanette. Good morning, Ryan and Jeanette, or good afternoon. I'll explain myself in just a moment. I'm still getting set up. Y'all are gonna love this. Come on, come on. Oh yeah, y'all are gonna love this. Do-do-do. Oh, okay. Do you want to press? Bear with me. Come on. Okay. Are we here? Everybody's here? We got Ryan, we got Jeanette. Oh my God. All right. Can y'all hear me? That little diva looking right into the camera. Yeah. The anticipation. Okay. All right. So, all right. I apologize for the abruptness of showing up, but like 10 minutes ago, I was literally asleep. So I've been, the job that I've been working on, I don't know if I'd mentioned it before, but the job that I've been working on for the last several months, I'm at a phase where my work is highly impactful of the business, of the workers. So in an effort to keep to not disrupt their business, then I've been working at night. I go in at like 8 in the morning, 8 at night, and work till 4 or 5 in the morning. Then get all my stuff cleaned up and everything. Then the workers, they come in and they can make their way to their desk. All their computers are set up. Everything's. They don't notice any difference. They leave at 5 o'clock, come back 7 o'clock the next morning, and there's no difference to them. If I were trying to do this while they were there, then it would knock people out of their desks, knock people out of work for a while. So I'm working at night at this business so that I don't disrupt their business. The downside is I'm essentially working third shift, and my schedule has gotten turned around. And today I slept through church. So normally I get up I'll get home because the job is about an hour or so away from where I live, almost an hour. So if I leave at 4:30 in the morning, I get home about 5:30. maybe have something to eat, whatnot. I usually go to bed about 7-ish. And I'll sleep till noon, 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. Well, even though I didn't work last night, that's the schedule that I'm on. And I woke up, like I said, I slept through church, and I woke up at, I think it was, I woke up and I looked at my watch, and it was 10 till 2. And I'd forgotten that it was Sunday. I was like, oh, all right, I gotta get up, make coffee. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I was like, oh God, the Rosie Show starts in 10 minutes. So yeah. So my apologies for not getting a notification out. And it's gonna be a quick show today. Because like I said, I jumped up, set the cameras up, or camera up. There we go. All that explanation. I hope you were taking care of yourself. Third shift is a mess. I am, but I'm not. I mean, not that I'm neglecting myself. I haven't worked out in like 6 or 8 weeks. Just because I keep meaning to go. Okay, well, I worked third shift when I was a cop, but the I did that for years, and I would work. It would either work out on my lunch break at work at night, or I would make accommodations and go to the gym in the morning or something. There was something I always found a way to do. I always found a way to work out when I was working third shift at the police department. But since this is more or less a temporary thing, then rather than just readjusting my whole life, then so yeah, I hadn't even. I mean, I've got my gym is right there. I mean, in the front side of my living room, and I just hadn't even lifted. I hadn't worked out. I hadn't done anything for like 6 or 8 weeks. My wife's just been sitting there collecting dust. So yeah, I mean, it's thrown off my schedule. I've got to go to the grocery store today because I think I slept through going to the grocery store the other day or something. So the good news is I've got one office left, and I did part of it the other night. The problem is doing these offices is they've got big U-shaped desks. So I have to go in, I'll take a picture of their desk so that I know, they've got their phone here, they've got their pencil caddy here, they've got their computer here, all this stuff. Then I take everything, or take as much stuff as I can off, move the computer, unhook wires, all this stuff, so I can move the desk, so I can paint the wall, and then I have to put everything back. So it's not just a matter of if it was just a matter of go in and put paint on the wall, then I would have been done with this night shift part weeks ago. But having to basically take the desk apart and do all this stuff, I can on a good night I can get one office done a night. Otherwise, I have to split it up and do like an office over the course of two nights. But so I'm on the last office, and I'm probably going to be. I've got 2 walls left. This is the biggest office. It's actually the office of the owner of the company. So it's a much bigger office, and he's got a lot of stuff that has to be moved. So I've got 2 walls left, but it's probably going to be a whole day on this wall because I've got to move stuff, take stuff down, and then the other wall. So I've got probably 2 days left on this office, and then it's all common areas. It's all that stuff I can do while people are there, and I can go back to a regular. I'll go back to being a regular human being as opposed to a vampire. But yeah, after his office, there are no more offices, desk areas left. Then it's going to be just the bathrooms, the kitchen. I think the lobby, and I think that's it, maybe a hallway. But other than that, they're all common areas, so I can work while people are, you know, doing their thing, whatnot. So, yeah, so after I finish his office, maybe either Monday or Tuesday, then I get to go back to being a regular human being again. So, yeah. Ryan says the workers must really, they love me, and I love them too. They're awesome. I mean, I played a joke on one of them. It says I'm there at night and nobody's there. One of them, she and I are always cutting up with each other. I taped her chair. I took, you know, the blue painter's tape, and I taped her chair to her desk. And she left a note where the next night when I came in, she had left a note on the wall where I'd done some patchwork so she knew I was going to be working right there. She left a note on the wall that said "Payback's a bitch." So yeah, I've really got to know these people. They're really good people. I love them all to death. They're all awesome. But yeah, there's a couple of them that have expressed that they're not going to be real happy when I finish up. They have mentioned maybe once I finish up and I leave and I go on to other things that they have mentioned maybe knocking a couple of holes in the wall with a baseball bat just so I have to come back. So yeah. I hadn't even, as a matter of fact, y'all may have to just sit here and stare at Rosie for a minute, because I hadn't even made coffee. I jumped up, ran in here, and started setting everything up. I mean, I literally looked at my watch, laying down. I had one arm around her. I mean, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a nice game. I wonder what time it is. 10 till 2. Wait a minute, what? Yeah, y'all bear with me. Y'all doodle, entertain them, do what you do. I've got to have coffee. Okay. All right. The coffee's making. Here, I'll come back in here. Come on, Rosie, let's play. Rosie's like, I still don't even know what's going on. But Rosie's like, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago now, 20 minutes ago, I was curled up. And then Daddy starts running around like a tornado. Yeah, I'm sure there's not too many live streams that the host takes a break to go make coffee, but hey, that's life. That's, I've done live streams before where I've tried to do or done, other videos where I've, tried to make everything needs to be perfect and everything needs to be, and I'm just like, you know what, people, if people wanted perfect, they would go to a movie that takes 6, 8 months, 10 months to make, a year or more, You know, a live stream, it's life, and life is unscripted, so, yeah. Sometimes in life you have to get up and go make a cup of coffee. You're still sleeping, aren't you? You just hadn't closed your eyes. I'm telling you, we were knocked out. It's just, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I always look forward to my time with the Rosie Army, even when it's short. But you know, I mean, I always know on Saturdays. I always kind of try to have some sort of plan for the next day. You know, whatever it is. You know, even work. Before I leave the job site, then I'll, you know, got everything cleaned up and getting ready to leave, and I'll just sort of look around and go, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start on that office tomorrow. You know, move that furniture. You know, I try to have some kind of plan in my head for the next day. And on Saturdays, I always go, okay, you know, I got church in the morning. I got this, you know, got the Rosie Show at 2. But I did that yesterday. You know, went through my plan. But no, I was knocked out. I mean, I was knocked slap out. I just happened to. I don't know if things keep going the way they are. I may just have it set to auto start, pointed at the bed, and I'll just be sleeping. Me and Rosie cuddle. That'll be the Rosie Show. I'll be drooling on my pillow, and she'll be doing whatever she does. This. Okay. I'm going to get my coffee. Hang on. Okay. Meow. Yeah. He's got his coffee now. He knows he's going to survive. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, the Rosie reality show. 24-hour stream. No. No. Oh, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. No, I'll do something like go organize my tool room. I've got paint sprayers and compressors and all this stuff. About the time one of them falls on my foot or something, I might say something on the Rosie Show that might not need to be said. Or when I look around and go, wait a minute, I've got 3 sprayers. When did I come up with what the hell? Yeah, ain't no telling there's no telling what'll happen. My life unscripted. No. All right. Yeah, are you even in the mood to play? You're not even awake yet. We'll try. We'll try to get you all a few minutes of. You look so tired. There's a reason for that, Jeanette. I am. I just woke up. I'm not a morning person, and this is morning for me. So I mean, you know, I know it. I get it. It's 20 after 2 in the afternoon for the rest of the world. This is morning for me, and I'm not a morning person. I'm not one of these people that jumps up and, you know, is ready to take on the day and good morning world. I'm more like, leave me alone, get away from me. I need 4 cups of coffee, then you can speak. I'm not a morning person. I hate waking up. I hate it. She's just like me. She doesn't like waking up either. I don't even know. You even feel? She don't even look like you. We'll see. Well, I'll try to play with her in a minute. We'll see. No, especially once I get some coffee in me. Once I get some coffee in me and get moving, then I'm good. But no, I actually got a good bit of sleep, I think. Because I went to bed a little bit earlier than I normally do. I think I went to bed, because since I didn't work last night, I could have gone to bed at a normal, like a normal human being last night. But one thing that I learned from, when I was working third shift at the police department, and as I did this, started doing this again, third shift work, is it's really dangerous, sleep-wise, when you have on your off days, because you tend to either purposefully or you just migrate back to having a somewhat normal sleep pattern. And I didn't want to do that. The last couple of weeks I've done that, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I've stayed up at night, and that way I stay on the same schedule. Because if you get back, by the time you're off for 2 days and you get back on something of a normal schedule, even if I go to bed at midnight and wake up at 7 or 8 in the morning, then guess what? Now I've got to go to work that night and be up till 4 in the morning and then drive an hour home, and it's like, no, so I didn't even go to bed. I didn't even go to bed until I think the last time I looked at my watch, it was like 4:19 or something. So it was sometime probably around 4:30. So, I could have got, 8 hours sleep, 12:30 in the afternoon would have been 8 hours sleep, but apparently I was just knocked out and enjoying sleeping. So, are your neighbors quiet when you're sleeping at non-standard times? Where I'm at, I don't have neighbors. It's great. Where I'm at, I've got, there's a city-owned building. So where I'm sitting, looking at the camera, over here is a city-owned building. Directly across from me is an empty field, then a small house that's been empty for, excuse me, a small house that's been empty for, I guess, a year or so, maybe a couple of years. And then directly next to me are 2 houses that are owned by a lady that she's fixing them up, but they've been empty since before I moved in. So I have no neighbors. That having been said, I have landscapers, and they'll come and they'll do their thing, once a week and whatnot. But that's just part of working third shift. That was one thing when I was working third shift before, that I found that I had to sleep with the television on, because if I'm sleeping, when I would come home from work at the police department, come home, get in bed, get just about asleep, and then somebody would close their door. I'm awake. And I would get just about asleep, and a lawnmower would start up. So there were random noises that would wake me up or keep me from falling asleep. So I turned the TV on and turned it down real low, and almost like just a white noise, just something in the background, but it drowned out everything else, and I could sleep with that because I knew what that was. That was a known sound. That was my television. All these other random sounds that weren't scheduled, weren't known, that's what would keep me up. So I actually got to where I couldn't sleep without the TV. So when I quit policing and went back to being a non-vampire, being a regular human being and sleeping at night and all this stuff, I would try to sleep at night and it was just dead quiet and peaceful, and I would sit there and stare at the ceiling because I could not sleep without noise. So it took me probably a year or so. Even at night, I still had to sleep with the television on because dead silence was deafening to me. And I finally got to where I could go to sleep without the television on. And then going back to doing this third shift work a couple of weeks ago, then same thing. Because even though I don't have neighbors, there'll be cars go by, there'll be things like that. So, yep. turn television on, turn on some, turn it down real low, just so it's a known enough sound that it drowns out everything else. And then I can go to sleep. No, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. You're half asleep. That's where I plopped her when I, started getting set up, getting ready for the Rosie Show. And she hadn't moved. I mean, I think she's still half asleep. Okay, we were knocked out 10 minutes before it started. we were knocked completely out. So, yeah, I know this has been a fairly uneventful Rosie Show. Let me go get one of her toys, see if she'll wake up and entertain. Otherwise, that may be it for the day. I use little wireless earphones for sleep and play rain noises. I like the rain noises. I did that for a while. It worked really good. I don't know why I quit doing it. I just quit. But I had so I play some rain noises on my phone. Just sit it on the nightstand and let it go. Because rain, oh God, I love me some rain, and I will sleep like a baby when it rains. And the harder it rains, the worse. Storm, like when hurricanes come through here, Hurricane Beryl last year. I mean, there was destruction all around, and Rosie was hiding under the Christmas tree. I was sleeping like a baby. I was knocked out. The wind was howling. I thought my roof was going to blow off, and I just grabbed the pillows. I was like, I'll fix it later. All right, Doodle. Let's see if you've got any energy in you. Meow. Do you even feel like playing? Maybe. No, hang on, Doodle. Meow. Okay, sorry about that. The joys of a CH. Throw this away and wash my hands. I'll be back. I know. It's not doing anything. I know. What? You want to just be left alone? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't even know if she wants to play. She's not. Okay. Sorry. There you go. Big stretch. Okay. Well, the Doodle apparently was not terribly interested in the feather. Oh, big stretch. Don't fall. Meow. What? Meow. Did I wake you up? Where are you going? There you go. Tear my sofa up. Good girl. what? Are you awake now and you're not happy about it? Lazy Sunday for Rosie, yeah, exactly. Where's Marilyn? I haven't seen Marilyn. What is it, baby? Well, since I didn't get a notification out, then yeah. Oh, and to the mothers of the world, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Jeanette. Meow. What? Yeah, I hope she is. I'm sure she is. You know, I hope she is, but I didn't get the notification out, so, because I think I did. Did y'all get a notification? Because, excuse me, when I set it up to, when I set up the stream, I normally set it up for a scheduled time at 2 o'clock. And I did that today, but it was 1:58 when I set it up, so there was only about 2 minutes between setting it up and starting. So I don't know if it even had time. Jeanette says she did. Okay, so yeah, so the notification. I mean, notification went out right before it started. So I usually try to get everything set up at least 15 minutes before it starts. I saw it being scheduled, but not sure about the notification. Yeah, it was right. I even debated on doing it as a schedule for later. I thought about just hitting start streaming, but I still had to set the microphone up and do something else. And I was also hoping to be able to get my coffee made. That didn't work. So what, baby? What? Yeah, what? What did you do to me this week? You did something to me this. I can't remember, because I remember saying, "Oh yeah, wait till I tell the Rosie." Yeah, I'm gonna tell on you if I can remember. I can't. She did something to me. I know one thing she's gotten in a bad habit about, and I think she does it just to watch me jump through hoops, is if I'm sitting on the sofa, she'll come walking up, look at me, meow, like she wants me to she wants me to pick her up and put her on the sofa. I mean, not like she can't climb up on the sofa, she does it all the time. But she'll come stand on the floor, look at me, meow, I'll reach down, pick her up, put her on the sofa, she'll walk right behind me, jump down, and then go off somewhere and lay down. It's like, you didn't even want up here, why are you asking? I mean, I think she does it just to entertain herself, to know that she's got me trained to do whatever she wants. Daddy is telling on, yeah, exactly. If I can remember what it was, there was something she did. It wasn't the attack she attacked, it was she attacked me last week. She did something this week, I can't remember what it was. I know she smacked me in the face last night with her claws. Because I've mentioned before, as I started falling asleep, then of course I quit petting her. You know, my hand just quit moving. And she was laying like right in here, and I was kind of petting her. And as I'm falling asleep, and her head's right here. The next thing I know, she popped me right. She got me like between my lip and my nose with claws. Because she does just about everything with her claws. Yes, she has you trained, but yeah, exactly. So she got me last night, or this morning, whatever time it was. You know, we're gonna do kisses, but I'm kind of inclined to not do beans today, because she is, that look, she heard beans, and she's like, I dare you to try it. Sorry. We may have to hold off on beans and playtime till next week because she's still half asleep. And she just got back in her loaf from that I disturbed earlier with the feathers. So I think we'll do kisses and skip the beans. What do you say, Dougal? We're gonna do kisses. One for Jeanette, one for Ryan, one for Marilyn, one for Stephen. I'd sing him in a minute. One for me. She barely tolerated that. The look on her face, y'all probably know her well enough by now, but the look on her face is going, should I kill him for that? Or should I let it slide? So yeah, I'm sorry it's been a fairly uneventful show, but because aside from the fact that she's a cat and cats sleep about 20 hours a day, she does kind of adopt my schedule. So normally, like when I get up, then she gets up and she, does her stretching and, sharpening her claws and getting something to eat and all this. So she sort of does her wake up routine. And then she plays with whatever, random thing is plays with her cat scratching thing or the ball that is in the track and whatnot. She'll do something, then she'll go back to sleep. But normally she's in a little bit more of an awake mode by 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sundays. But since I have migrated to just waking up, I normally wake up about 1 or 2. So she sort of has started doing the same thing. So she's not awake yet either. That's like, I've got to go to the grocery store, but I'm not going to be awake enough to go to the grocery store for probably another 45 minutes. So I know I've got to go do a load of laundry, but yeah, no, like I said, I'm not I'm not one of these people that jumps up ready to take on the day and, good morning, birds and butterflies. I'm more like, y'all need to shut up until I have my coffee. Quit chirping. I don't want to hear your little wings flapping. I'm not that bad. But no, I'm not a morning person. I'm definitely let me get my coffee, let me stretch, let me do some push-ups, let me get awakened before I start getting tackled with life. I've never understood people who wake up all happy like SpongeBob. Yeah, that was my first wife. I mean, she and I we're great friends now. But she's one of those people. And it's just I always looked at her like, what is wrong with you? I mean, she's one of these people that could just like 10 seconds after she wakes up, she looks like she's been up for 4 hours. And she got a big, good morning and how are you? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? What planet are you from? Now, she's definitely a morning person. Just all happy and bubbly and just like, yeah! Yeah, she'll get more done than she'll get more done in the time it takes me to drink 2 cups of coffee than most people get done in a day. I mean, she hits the ground running, and it's just like, whew, slow down, man. But that's just her. She's a morning person. Me, not so much. Oh my goodness. All right. So it's 40 minutes. That wasn't too terribly short. To be honest with you, I don't think I woke up till about 10 minutes into the into the show because it doesn't feel like it's been 40 minutes. Oh my goodness. All right. Does anybody have anything? Anything? Any new news? Nothing much on my end. Just work. No, nothing. Anything? Bueller. I promise I'm not going back to sleep. No, once I'm up, I'm up. So I'll be good. I just don't like the process of waking up. I wish I could be more like my first wife, where I could, just hit the ground running, tackle the day, and, probably be a lot more efficient at doing the things I do. I will let you know when the shirt's coming. Yes, awesome. And you may need to shoot me a reminder on Messenger, but I'll try to go see about a P.O. box, because I'm probably going to need one at some point if we're going to start doing merch. So, just good to see you too, Ryan. Good to see all of y'all. I tell you, y'all are sort of my recharge. The Rosie Army, doing the show, getting to hang out with y'all, and even the one, because because a while ago we were up to 6 people, so not everybody's partaking of the chat, but we're still glad. I'm still glad to have everybody here. So, but yeah, y'all are sort of my little pick me up. I would say the end of the week, but it's technically the beginning of a new week, but still kind of the end of the week. Sort of recharge my batteries with the Rosie Army, get to hang out with y'all. So, there was one thing, and I meant to put it in OBS Studio. So the other day, to Ryan's question earlier about noises keeping me up, waking me up, I heard a squawking right outside my front windows. I'm like, okay. Well, I kept hearing. I'm like, what is going on? And I thought it was, because I think I've mentioned before that for whatever reason, this year I've noticed quite a few hawks in the area, which makes me nervous for Sasha, because a hawk will definitely carry her away. So it bothers me when I see her just lounging out in the sun, out in the yard, out in the open. Usually she's either under the houses next door or over here, and I've got big awnings outside that she stays under, so that gives her some protection from a hawk that may want to snatch her up. But I do have some open yard space that she likes to lay out in the sun, and it looks all cute and relaxing and everything, but she's also out in the open. And like I said, a hawk will carry her off in a heartbeat. I mean, it's happened before. I was talking to my sister about it the other day, and I think that one of her pets got taken by a hawk a couple of years ago. But anyway, so I hear the squawking, and I go outside, and right on my front sidewalk, there's I say a baby hawk, it's a juvenile. He's probably this tall. He's about the size of a football. So it's not a little baby bird. This is it's a hawk. And he can't fly. I mean, he's still he's stretching his wings out. He's getting his pin feathers, his flight feathers, all this stuff are still growing. You can see he's still got some bare spot on his head where his feathers are still growing in, and the feathers on his head aren't but about this tall. So you can tell that he was probably a week or so away from being able to fly, probably just got pushed out of the nest a little early. So, and I've got some pictures and video of it. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? What's going on? And of course, as much as you hate it, you gotta let nature take its course. You know, this is a wild animal. You know, you don't, particularly with wild animals, you need to like I said, let nature take its course. And he's trying to get out, climb over my fence, get out of the yard. Oh, the house across the street that I was telling you had been empty for a year or so. It's actually for sale. I'm guessing it's Mama Hawk is sitting on the roof watching him and watching me watching him. So I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm not hurting him. Stay over, you know, because, you know, Mama Hawk's not going to carry me off, but she could certainly inflict some pain on me. But, so I watch him, and I was just like, okay, I'm just, you know, you got to let nature take its course. I didn't offer him any assistance, didn't offer him any food, didn't offer him any of this. Unfortunately, if he ends up climbing over the fence and getting out into the road, that's nature taking its course. Yeah, even though, you know, cars are not part of, you know, nature thousands of years ago, but still that's nature taking its course. If he does not learn to fly and mom abandons him, which happens a lot in nature, that's nature taking its course. So all that to say, Sasha came over. She heard me talking to him. She was under the houses next door and decided she was going to come over. She's like, oh, Daddy sort of is out. So she jumped the fence and landed about 2 feet in front of him. That's when she saw him. She stopped and she looked at him. He looked at her, even though he's looking at me like, what are you? Because I'm much bigger than him, of course. Even though being a baby, he's got that prey drive. He opened up his wings and lunged at her. And she just sort of stepped back like, okay, what are you doing, fool? And then she just ignored him and came walking over to me and, you know, started rubbing on my leg. Here's where the dilemma for me is. I can't bring Sasha in because Sasha's not an inside-outside cat. She is a feral cat. She just happens to, she's friendly with me. She loves me. Nobody else can get anywhere near her. Even if I did I can't bring her inside because of Rosie, one reason. Another reason is if I brought her in, she would not know how to act inside. I don't know if she would know how to use a litter box or not, because she goes she just digs a spot in nature and goes to the bathroom. I know for a fact that once she figured out that she's not outside, she's gonna want outside, because I've had inside cats before that I let go outside, and then once they figured out they could go outside, that's pretty much all they wanted to do was go outside. They would either stand at the door, meow and scratch, or they would sit at the windows and look out. But you know, they had a huge desire to go outside once they figured out there was an outside. Sasha coming in from outside would be horrible for her. So unfortunately, I have to keep her. I mean, she's a feral cat, and so she stays outside. I hope to God that she does not get taken by a hawk, but I can't interfere in her life, because like I said, she's not my cat. She's not an inside-outside cat. But like Ryan is saying right now, I hope she stays alert. You know, I try to, when I do go outside and I catch her just lounging out in the yard in the sun and all that, then I will give, I have been feeding her more lately since the hawks have been around, because I can entice her to come up under the awning, because that's where I keep her food bowls. So at least I try to keep her from being out in the open as much as I possibly can, but at the same time, I can't watch her 24/7. So all this to say, if, God forbid, a hawk does get her, then, that's nature taking its course. I'm gonna be heartbroken, but I hope that doesn't happen. So anyway, all this started from a baby hawk in my yard. Yeah. Is netting your yard realistic? Then again, she's outside and maybe going other places. Yeah, she roams all over. So netting my yard is not possible where I live now. If I end up moving somewhere else in the future, which is very likely, then that may be a possibility. But then again, if I do something to keep, I guess it would only have to be something over the yard itself. Well, then extending somewhat over. It wouldn't have to be anything necessarily to keep, well, if I totally enclosed my yard, then that's gonna do one of two things. It's either going to, if Sasha's in the yard, now she's locked into my yard, which she roams all over. I don't know how far she roams. If she's outside the yard, now she can't get in, or, another cat. So, and then if I put it just as a covering to where a hawk couldn't swoop into my yard, that doesn't stop her. Like if she goes across the street to that big open field, I mean, she's in the wide open. At least next door, she's got the houses she gets under, she's got trees, there's a couple of trees over here, the awning, my trailer, my truck, there's things that she has cover from. If she goes across the street to that field, she got nothing. And I was telling my sister, I think that's one reason that I'm seeing more hawks now as opposed to a couple of years ago, because the city owns that field and they cleared it out a year or so ago, and that probably exposed more of the field mice and groundhogs, things like that, which are prey for hawks and things like that. So yeah. So no, it's a good idea, netting the yard, but I don't think I know that here it's not a possibility, but I don't know if it would be a good idea otherwise. Because like I said, it would either trap Sasha in my yard or it would trap her out of the yard. So, but yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on her, and but I'll keep y'all posted because I know that she's part of the Rosie Show as well. But no, we'll just hope that. But again, that's part of that. As much as like I watch nature documentaries, and I feel so bad for the little gazelles, whether it's the baby gazelles or even the adult gazelles that the lions kill and eat. I want to jump through the television and save them, but those lions have to eat. I mean, they're not doing it because they're mean or they're angry. They're doing it because they have to survive. They're doing it because that's their food. So you just have to let nature take its course. So we'll hope and pray, and I mean I'll do things to try to, with Sasha, I do try to intervene a little bit by virtue of I try to encourage her to not lay out in the yard or something. So, but she's an outside cat, she's a feral cat. Like I said, nobody else can get anywhere near her. It's not a matter of she's just a feral cat that likes people. Nobody, as a matter of fact, the people that go to the church here, some of their kids have mentioned that they've tried to pet her and nobody can get anywhere near it. She won't even let other people feed her. They put tuna out for her and she won't they said that they can't even approach her even after feeding her. But she follows me around. But I've been taking care of her for, I guess, close to 3 years now. But no, she's very much a feral cat. So, So, yeah. Oh, and our big-headed tomcat, saw him last night. He came by and got some of the food that Sasha left behind, so he's still around. But yeah, Ryan said something about a catio is great. I don't know what I would do without one. Oh, Jeanette said that. Yeah, Ryan asked if Jeanette had a catio. Yeah, yeah, I would love to put one. I may do that when I have another house, when I move from where I am now, whenever that may be. Yeah, I've seen some of these catios. They're awesome. Go to Willy Wonka's channel, and Willie, we did a tribute to Willie. Willie passed, I guess it was a year or so ago, but Willie had, I don't know what the neurological condition was, but his was progressive, and it ended up taking him. Same as Uceratops. But the owners also have a CH named Charlie Bear, and I think they've got something of a catio for him. But yeah, go to Willy Wonka's and check out Charlie Bear. He's hilarious. But yeah, I may do a catio one day for her. I mean, she would enjoy it. I would have to pad it. Can't do a regular catio. Do you call her Sasha? Yeah. I mean, I call her Sasha. She doesn't care. I don't think she knows that I've given her a name, but she knows me. She knows my truck, because when I come home at 5:30 in the morning, and it's pitch black outside, she's usually underneath the houses next door because they're elevated. They're on crawl spaces, and she likes to get underneath them. But when I pull up outside my gate and I get out to open my gate, then she's usually walking across the yard. She hears my truck coming, and she's like, "Yep, he's here. He's home." And that's what she does. I don't know where I came up with the name. I just looked at her, and she just looked, for whatever reason, she looked like Sasha. Whatever a Sasha looks like, she looked like a Sasha. I'm like, okay, that's your name, Sasha. So that was back when I had Highway, when he was still alive, and she was buddies with him. She would cuddle up with him. So, yeah. Yeah, whenever I name an animal, it just sort of, I don't know how, whatever they strike me as, you strike me as a Sasha. With her, it was Rosie. I mean, and then it was when it was my second wife, that I was married to then, when we were doing animal rescues, we decided that we were gonna not completely focus on CH cats, but we were going to have something of an emphasis on CH cats, since they get ignored and put down, unnecessarily and things like that. But we also decided that any CH cat we had, and it had to start with her, because she was the first CH cat we had. But her name being Rosie, then we somehow decided that all the CHs, their names would end with IE. So we had Rosie, we had Joey, but we ended it with IE. Had Dusty, ended it with IE. So we had any CH cat had to end, or their names had to end with IE. I don't know why, because we're just ignorant like that. But no, we would normally, well, I'll say I don't remember what, if any, methodology she had for assigning names to cats. But with me, it was just whatever. When I first look at a cat, whatever it just strikes me as, whatever it looks like, oh, you look like a Rosie, you look like a Sasha, you look like a this. That's how I name them. So it's like right now, if I were to name a cat, I would probably name it WD-40, because I just looked at the can of WD-40 that's on my entertainment center that I need to go put back up. little extra special insight into Scott's goofy brain. I think I bored her to sleep. That's how that, me too, Scott, that's exactly how I name my kid. Yeah, that's, I don't put a whole lot of, what would be a good name? What would fit your personality? I just go, oh, Rosie. Oh, where'd that come from? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Now my daughter, I think I told her, but I think I mentioned it in a previous live stream. My other cat, whose name was Cat, ironically enough. The way he got that was his final name, was Cat. But when we got him, and my daughter named him, he had like 4 different names in a month. She kept changing his name. And at some point he got injured. He got hurt playing with Highway, because they loved each other. They were buddies. They would sleep in the same kennel. They would chase each other. And all. Well, he was a juvenile cat at the time, probably a year or 2 old. And he was playing with Highway, and he hurt his hip. So I took him to the vet, and the vet asked me what his name was, so they could put his name on the kennel. And I remember 2 or 3 of the 47 names that my daughter had given him. And because I had gotten tired of trying to keep up with the names. So I just started calling him Cat. I just, hey, Cat, come here. Hey, Cat, get out of there. Hey, Cat, quit doing that. Hey, Cat, blah, blah. So when the vet asked me, what's his name, I'm like, Cat? Somehow that stuck. That became his name. She wrote it on his kennel, Cat. It's on his urn. I mean, that was his name. That became his name for the rest of his life. That was his official name. Vet records, his urn, what, everybody called him, that became his name, was Cat. So, yeah, so my daughter, she would change names and all of a sudden. Me, I'm just like, oh, Rosie, where'd that come from? So, Ryan says, cool, me too. I give the neighborhood cats my own name. Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Unless I know, like when I lived where I lived before, my neighbors across the street, they had a cat that they would let out. They would let him outside. He was an inside-outside cat. But I knew his name. But if I didn't, then yeah, I would name him. It's nice. It comes naturally and has a story. Yeah. So Rosie fits her perfectly. Yes. Yeah, and I don't know where I can. I think I just added Doodle. So I think I just said it one day. I think I walked in, and she walked in the bedroom, and she was, flopped out on the floor, and I think I just said something about, hey, Rosie Doodle, and that was where it came from. Her eyes are half open. She's like, I really wish he would shut up and let me go back to sleep. I love you, Doodle. Perfect Rosie response. So, all right, you ready to call it a day? All right, we end up going a little bit more than an hour. Oh God. Yeah, I cannot wait to get off of this. I can't wait to get this office done so I can get back on a regular schedule, because my life has been turned completely upside down. Like I said, I have not worked out in like 2 months. I've got to get back on. I hadn't played my drums, hadn't done, I hadn't meal prepped. I normally try to meal prep so that I can, I normally have a fairly regimented life. I'll, get up, do certain things, do push-ups, have breakfast, coffee, this, that, and the other, go to work, come home, eat certain foods at certain intervals in preparation for working out, then, do whatever, after I work out, do whatever I've got. So I normally try to fit my life into something of a schedule. And since I've been doing this third shift stuff, I mean, everything has been so just up, and it's just been sort of fly by the seat of your pants. And I hadn't done, I mean, I've had meal prepped, now I'm cooking on the fly, just, how long have you been on the third shift? For right now, I've been on it probably about 6 weeks, 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that. I intentionally intentionally took a break from working out I wanted to take about a week or two off of working out, just I like to do that every now and again, because you're supposed to give your body time to heal, and I usually try to work out 4, maybe 5 days a week, and Sunday I usually do no working out, it's my rest day. But I'll usually have, another couple of rest days, but then every now and again I like to do no working out for a week or two, let my body completely heal, and then get back into it. So I was right at one of those phases where I had purposely not worked out for a week or two when I started the third shift stuff. And since I started the third shift stuff, sleep has been chaotic, my diet has been chaotic, doing simple things like going to the grocery store, doing laundry has just been hit or miss, chaotic. So it's thrown everything into chaos. So why you must burn a lot of calories? Yeah, I burn a lot of calories just by virtue of doing what I do, because a lot of people, they'll go to the gym and they'll do the stair stepper or something like that. If I'm climbing a 6-foot ladder, I mean, I may, climbing a ladder is not climbing a ladder. You don't go up the ladder and work for 8 hours and then come down. I mean, when I go to work, I will probably climb a ladder. I'll easily say 100 times a day. I mean, that sounds like a lot, maybe even more, but it's a matter of, if I'm going to paint this trim, I get the ladder in place, get my paint bucket, my brush, I'll climb the ladder, and I'll paint as much as I can reach, and then get down, move the ladder over, climb it again, paint. But then that's best case scenario. A lot of times I'll climb the ladder, got my paint bucket and my brush, and I'll get up there and I'll realize, oh, I didn't caulk that trim nail. Get down, put my brush and everything down, go find the caulk gun, climb back up it, caulk that nail hole, come back down. Now I gotta wait on that caulk to dry, so let's move it over. Or I'll get up there and I'll realize, oh, I need to put a piece of tape over this, so it's up and down the ladder all the time. So yeah, it's doing a lot. I mean, it's a lot of not necessarily cardio, but I mean, you're activating a lot of your large muscle groups, and I mean, it's like doing stair steppers. Even if it's a 4-foot ladder and I go 3 steps up, and I do that 100 times, then I got to do 100 times coming down. You're talking about climbing up 300 steps in an 8-hour period, while you're also lifting the ladder and moving it and doing I mean, yeah. You could probably do a 4K without any train, 5K without any train. Was it 5K with that 3.2 miles? Yeah, I could do that. Don't know how fast it would be. I mean, I know that before I started doing the third shift stuff, now I hate running. That's one thing I hate doing. I know I have to But it was back in 2022, I was running, I was right at 3 miles, coming up on 3 miles, doing about 2.5 miles a day. After I would work out, that was just my normal routine. I would work out and then I'd go run 2.5 miles. And I was just about to jump up to 3 miles when I quit doing it just because I hate running. And didn't do it for a while. Well, I had started running again and was up to just about a mile when I started doing the third shift work. So I was working out at night and then going and doing a mile, and I was just about to add another half a mile. But yeah, if I had to do 3.2, I mean, I could do 3.2 miles. Like I said, don't know how fast it would be, but yeah, I could do 3.2 miles, no problem. But can you please send me some of your energy, please? I would love to, because I don't want it. That's one of those things, like, I've got energy, but it's like, I don't want it, because then I have to use it. You're welcome to have it. Then I can relax a little bit. I can be like, I don't have the energy to do that. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't have the energy. There's a lot of times I just, but I mean, you do what you gotta do. So, I mean, that's just the way I've always been is, something has to be done, you just do it. I mean, I know that, like what I painted the other day, oh my God. I managed to paint the wall behind, and this is in the owner's office, the big office. The 2 desks that he has in there, there's a little bit of a bump out on one side of the wall, so the desks don't go all the way to the wall. They're separated by about that much. Maybe, yeah, well, maybe about that much. Instead of taking everything off of those 2 big desks and moving the desks and everything so I could paint that one wall, I could fit inside that space, but I'm turned sideways and all this stuff. I managed to paint that entire wall without moving the desk inside a space this big. So to say that I turned myself into a contortionist would be an understatement, because I was having to, so I'm facing the wall, like the wall's right here, and I'm squeezed into this space. I'm having to bend down and paint the bottom of the wall with the brush, cut in up against the base trim and everything. Then I could get the roller in and squeeze between me and the wall and do a little bit of the wall, move over, do a little bit more of the wall. So yeah, this one wall took me forever in relation to how long it would normally take, but it still was quicker than moving all those big desks, because he's got a bunch of, unlike a lot of the workers, he's got a bunch of books related to their business, a bunch of big reference books that would have to be moved and everything. So yeah, it was, yeah. So I had to fold myself into a pretzel quite a few times. So I'm just blessed that that I'm able to do that. Because I know, unfortunately there's a lot of people that can't, that for whatever reason, I love it when people do it. Yeah, well, it's like somebody told me the other day, they was like, well, just, don't worry about painting behind the desk. And it wasn't the owner that hired me, it was somebody else. They're like, man, just paint, instead of moving, why don't you just paint, just a little bit past the edge of the desk, and they'll never see the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, what happens when they decide to rearrange their office and they move furniture, and now there's not new paint where the old desk were, or where the desk were? I said, and on top of that, when somebody hires you to do a job, you do the job. You don't halfway do the job. You do the job. And if that means going extra steps, and that's what you do. I mean, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna paint around the desk so that it looks good. No, somebody pays you to do a job, somebody gives you their hard-earned money to do something, then you do it to the best of your ability. If you're not, then don't do it. But yeah, so yeah, needless to say, I come away from, I come away from work. I would say sore, but I'm used to it. I'll tell you that, all right, so when I was a cop, there was a guy that I worked with, actually one of my best friends in this entire world. I was literally at the hospital when his son was born. Loved this guy to no end. We met in the academy. We sat right next, because we were assigned seating in the police academy by name, by our last name. Our names were very similar, so we ended up sitting right next to each other. That's how I met him. Great guy, great family. I mean, he's just one of these people that would give you the shirt off his back, and I mean, I can't say enough great about him and his family. They're just wonderful people. He is a beast. He's a nice guy. He is huge. I mean, we're talking about, he's like 5'10". Last time I saw him, he was like 220, 225 pounds of solid muscle. I don't know what he lifts now. I know that he used to bench over 400 pounds. I don't know what he would squat, 400 or 500 pounds, 600 or something. I went and worked out with him one time, and as we were leaving to go to the gym, his wife said, "Now go easy on him, because this one nobody works out with you more than once, because you're too hard on him and this, that, and the other." He said, "No," I'm gonna go easy on him. He said, "We're gonna do," we get to the gym, and he said, we're gonna do legs. I hate doing legs. He said, "We're gonna do a light leg workout." He said, "I'm gonna go easy on you, Scotty." He said, "We're gonna do a light leg workout." I was like, okay. So we did a light leg workout. 20 minutes into his light leg workout, I was in the bathroom throwing up. Just to set the stage. This is the kind of guy, nicest guy in the world. Love him to death. Let's fast forward to, I think it was 2011. I mean, I can't keep up with him. Most human beings can't keep up with him in the gym. Fast forward to 2011, he hires me to build a deck at his house, and he's going to help me. Cool. So I get big. I don't like to do deck posts, 4x4s. I like to do minimum 6x6 deck posts. And his deck was very tall, so they had to be 16 feet long. A 16-foot 6x6 weighs a freaking ton. I mean, they are heavy. Well, he helped me. Now, there's a big difference between laying down, putting 405 pounds on a bar, and lowering it to your chest and picking it up, something that I cannot do. I would be crushed. But I've seen him do it, like it's nothing. There's a big difference between that and taking something and bending over and picking it up. Not to say that he's not, like I said, a beast. But you're activating everything in the course of doing what I do, bending over to pick up something heavy and lift it up and all of this. So bottom line is, me and him are building this deck, and we get the deck posts up the first day, get them set in concrete, all this stuff, which means we're having to pick them up and hold them up and do all this. The next day, this is what I do for a living, right? The next day I show up, I get to his house, I got my coffee, I get out, start getting everything set up. He comes out on his front porch, got his coffee. And I'm like, "Hey dude, how you doing? You ready to Ready to get back after it? He's like, hang on a little, Scotty. I was like, what's the matter, dude? He said, dude, he said, I'm not used to lifting like that. He said, I'm not, and I was like, what? I'm like, what? I outdid you on something? But it's just what I'm used to. I'm used to bending over, picking up something heavier, putting myself in a, that's my realm. His realm is the gym. So all of that to say, I don't know where I got off on this tangent, but hey, y'all are used to me being an idiot, so. but no, all that to say that, you can be big and strong in one realm, but not prepared for another one. Or in my case, I can be prepared to lift something heavy that I have to bend over and do this and do that and activate certain muscles. Whereas somebody that goes to the gym and lifts, they can't. I mean, look at it like this. There's a guy, I think his name's Bradley Martin. Big old huge weightlifter. He's got a podcast, this, that, and the other. I mean, he's a monster. And he's always challenging these professional fighters, MMA fighters, all this stuff. And he tells them like, yeah, I would tear you up in a fight and this, that, and the other. And the MMA fighters are like, no, whatever, dude. Well, then he challenges them to a fight, and they end up beating the hell out of him. I mean, they end up submitting him, and either, I don't know if any of them have actually rendered him unconscious, but, he's a big, huge beast of a man and lifts a ton of weight, but that's not his realm. His realm is the gym. These guys' realm is the octagon, the fighting. And even though they're half his size in some cases, they put him out with almost in a very relaxed way. I mean, you can tell that they're not putting into it what they put into a normal fight. They're just sort of halfway playing with him and all this stuff, and then they catch him in a chokehold or something like that, and he ends up tapping out. So, I mean, they end up tossing him around fair, but again, that's what they're used to. And I don't know why I got off on this. Whatever. So our short Rosie Show has turned into almost an hour and a half. Awesome. Yes, I guess being a proper fighter is a different thing. Yeah, I mean, it's just what somebody gets used to. Like my buddy, there is no way on God's green earth that I will ever be able to keep up with him in the gym. None whatsoever. And I would imagine that he would be able to keep up with me in construction, but he would have to do what I do for a living for years to get used to that. So, I mean, I remember I saw a video one time. It was a bunch of young guys that were, you could tell they worked out. They go to the gym, and they were trying to live. It was like a challenge. It was to grab a sledgehammer by the end of the handle and pick it up straight. Just sort of curl it. Well, the head of the hammer is way out in front, so that presents a different challenge. All the weight is out there. And all these guys are trying to pick it up, and their wrist is folding, and they can't get it halfway. And finally, this guy, probably been doing construction for 100 years. He all leather skinned and this, that, and the other. He just reached, grabbed it, and picked it up. And all these guys are like, "What?" He set it back down. He's like, "Yeah, it's not that." They reached and picked it up again because he had been doing stuff like that all his life, and it wasn't anything to him. So it's what you get used to. And I'm going to shut up now. We're bleeding viewers. We're down to just me, Jeanette, and Ryan now. I think we had 7 earlier. They're like, "Geez, this guy rattles on about nothing." Rosie's going, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing." All right, everybody. I'm going to cut out of here because I do have to go to the grocery store. And I've taken up enough of y'all's life today. So, all right. So I got two thumbs up on this one. Thank you very much, people. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Hope everybody has a wonderful, productive safe, happy week. And other than that, we'll see y'all next week. I'm gonna leave it up for a few minutes. Let everybody say their toodles to everybody. Say toodles doodle. She cracks me up, I'm telling you. Oh my God. All right. I will see y'all next week. And again, I'll say I'm gonna try to get some videos up. Y'all are probably rolling your eyes going, yeah, you're not gonna get videos up, Scott. So, all right. I will see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one. Toodles, everybody.